Hello, and welcome to today's 40-second webinar in the On the Move webinar series, Streamline Returns Processing with Autonomous Mobile Robots, brought to you by Honeywell Intelligrated. I'm Tracy Niehaus, Director of Marketing for Honeywell Intelligrated, and I'm your moderator today. We have just a few announcements before we begin. Please note that this presentation's audio is provided by phone number or through your computer's sound system, so be sure to turn up your computer's volume. You may ask an online question at any time throughout today's presentation in the Q&A feature along the bottom of your screen. Simply type your question into the text area and hit send. Questions will be addressed at the conclusion of the presentation, with the exception of technical questions that can be asked and will be answered real time. Please note that we recommend that you be hardwired when attending this webinar. A Wi-Fi connection may result in lag time in slides updating, graphics loading, and videos playing. Today's webinar includes polling questions. Please feel free to answer these questions when they appear, and be sure to click submit so we can include your response, as we will be sharing the results real time during this live event. If you'd like to revisit key sections of today's webinar, it will be available on demand at intelligrated.com/on-the-move approximately 48 hours after this live event. And you'll also receive an email in a couple of days with a link to the recorded event. Now on to the presentation, Streamline Returns Processing with Autonomous Mobile Robots. Discussing today's topic will be Sonia Jose, Senior Product Manager, Honeywell Robotics. Sonia joined Honeywell Robotics 6 months ago and brings extensive experience in automation and mobile robotics with her. In her current role, she is responsible for mobile robotic and each picking solutions. Prior to Honeywell Robotics, she held a senior product management position at Boza Nova, where she was responsible for robotics, including market intelligence and go-to-market strategies. She also spent 7 years at ABB in various roles, from project management to engineering. Also presenting today is Eric Hardy, Vice President, Robotic Solutions Offering for Honeywell Robotics. Eric brings more than 15 years of international experience to Honeywell Robotics, with a strategy and marketing background in developed and emerging markets. In his current role, he is responsible for Robotic Solutions Offering, developing and executing the robotics offering, ranging from fixed robotics to mobile robotics in e-commerce, retail, parcel, and micro-fulfillment environments. Prior to his current role, he led strategic marketing for Honeywell Intelligrated, developing the company's global growth strategy focused on organic growth through the Connected Distribution Center and robotics, as well as inorganic growth through M&A and venture capital investments. Before joining Honeywell Intelligrated, Eric led strategy and marketing for Honeywell in Turkey and Central Asia. He has previous experience as a strategy consultant at Booz & Company and as a director of strategic planning at Siemens. And with those introductions, the webinar will now begin.
Great, thank you, Tracy. So to start off with, we'd like to share with you some of the challenges that we see our customers facing today. So with everything going on with the pandemic, we're seeing the e-commerce space growing faster. And with that, returns are also on the rise. We estimate that for returns of online purchases, it can range anywhere between 15 to 30% or more, especially for apparel. And this is significantly higher than what we see at brick and mortar stores, which typically is more around 3 to 10%. So overall, we see that e-commerce growth is driving a lot more returns. Next slide. So when these returned or refurbished items arrive, they need to be sorted and then transported to different locations throughout the facility for processing. This creates a lot of significant sorting and transporting tasks for your operation, which leads to a lot more time, labor, and leads to a lot more inefficiencies as well. In the distribution and manufacturing operations, we see similar challenges when it comes to kitting processes. Delays or errors can occur when workers have to wait, don't move to the right locations, or have other responsibilities in addition to moving goods. Another major challenge that we see is that with worker turnover in the industry, coming up to about 33% or more. A lot of the workforce is also nearing retirement age as well. And then even before the pandemic, there were only enough workers to fill 1 in 6 available positions. So there aren't enough workers to meet the increasing demands for speed and volume of operations. All right, so with that, we'd like to ask you a polling question. What do you see as the biggest challenge impacting for your operations? Is it sorting and transporting of goods, delays and errors in processing, scarce labor, or something else? And we'll give a few minutes to answer the question. All right. So what we see, not surprisingly, one of the major challenges is sorting and transporting of goods. And then the second two are scarce labor and delays and errors in processing. So thank you for that.
That aligns very much with what we're seeing in the market and what we see out there. Happy to see that reflected here as well.
All right. So with that, I will hand it over to Eric to discuss a little bit more about the solution for these challenges.
Yes, thank you, Sonia. And thank you for covering the challenges. I'm going to talk to everyone here about how we use autonomous mobile robots to meet those challenges and the solution that we have pulled together here, that using smart robotics that make your facility work better. So any workflow, any facility with minimal IT and infrastructure changes. When we're looking at mobile robots, they are used to increase overall productivity. Here, I'm showing a mobile robot with our partnership with Fetch that automates cart movement. That will allow you to redeploy your scarce labor throughout the facility. As you saw there, it goes underneath, picks it up and moves the cart. We'll get into this in more detail. These highly efficient AMRs increase your facility's productivity by automating the rolling of cart movement, enabling you to move your employees to more higher value added activities. These carts goes anywhere a cart can go. The mobile robot can go anywhere the cart can go. So there's little or no human intervention. Our mobile robots working with Fetch, these are self-guided, self-navigating robots that can travel over any floor surface that's smooth enough to handle a traditional cart that's pushed by a worker. All you have to do is park the cart in a designated pickup area and call a robot and it'll come pick it up and move it in that way. This way, carts can be transported virtually anywhere in your facility with little or no human intervention. Here's the seamless integration with existing infrastructure. I'm going to show a video here where you'll see the worker moving the cart into a position, scans it. The scan triggers the mobile robot to come pick it up and drive the cart away. With our available seamless integration with Momentum software, we're going to enable the goods to be moved from receiving throughout areas in the warehouse. As I mentioned, robotic movement can be controlled through handheld scanners or network buttons, and this ensures continuous operation and worker productivity. Uncompromised safety. This is one of the really key benefits we see working with our partner Fetch and with mobile robots in general. Fetch brings AMRs that leverage some of the same technologies that were developed for self-driving vehicles. So 360-degree vision with no blind spots, 8 3D cameras, 2 LiDAR sensors, and an industry-leading dynamic obstacle avoidance technology. Also certified hardware-based safety systems, smart enough to avoid obstacles and people, vehicles, fork trucks, tines, and other obstacles, resulting in fewer injuries and product damages, and they can reroute themselves independently. So this is one of the features here what we talked about before, avoiding obstacles. Here you have a pallet mobile robot going by, coordinated here with the Cart Connect. And then you'll see a person pushing by, it detects that obstacle, that person walking by, pushing another cart, slows down, and once that person clears the aisle, it continues on. What do we like about mobile robots? Well, they're scalable and flexible. They support many workflows and they scale quickly for fast ROI. AMRs support a wide range of workflows that you can do, And it's really that scale that allows you to get fast ROI. Let me move on here to what we're showing here is another video of dropping carts off, picking up another cart, and then traveling that on its way. Mobile robots and overall automation helps eliminate errors and wait times. With our software, we're integrating directly into MES and WES. They can connect directly, coordinate that movement, and eliminate those manual errors and human wait times that we talked about before. Picking technology. Combining the mobile robot technology with Honeywell's pick technology also improves accuracy and efficiency. So you can combine the robots with order picking technologies like RFID scanners or voice systems, eliminating even more errors. So now let me talk a little bit more about the specific use case of doing returns in reverse logistics. Returns and reverse logistics. With our offering here, and I'll play this video in a moment, it helps us reduce the helps you actually reduce the number of operators and the need for transportation. It seamlessly coordinates goods and movement. So here, let me show you. This is a receiving area. They're putting down the goods on a cart that is picked up, and that's designated as recyclable. So they would put recyclables on there, or in the case of what we're showing here, there are other bins that are over there that'll go to discard or direct into inventory, so they'll put back on the shelves. This is going to the recyclable. With our software in combination with Fetch mobile robots, we're able to route that to the recyclable areas, and this video will show it as it goes down through the DC to that location. This is very useful in areas where traditional conveyor sometimes doesn't fit here, often due to some of the more complex workflows. It gives you flexibility in the routing. And there you saw the mobile robot just dropped it off at the recycling station, where an operator can pick that up and put that into the recycling process, or in the case where it's going into inventory, it would go to a station where an operator can pick that up and put that back into the inventory. Alternatively, if it is going to trash or discard, you can have an operator pile up and handle the discards there as well. So let me just, these would be the different stations where the workers can, typically they would take them in from receiving, scan it, and then the system would tell it where to go, which card to go on, and the mobile robot would take it from there. And then also where we can do here is it's the nearest available robot. So it's not, the robot that's doing recyclables may not always be doing a recyclable run. We can coordinate these robots to focus on where they're needed the most. And for example, if a lot of discards come in, we can reroute them and have them do more discard routes and whatnot. Now, if we take a look at kitting we see is very much a similar process, and our software in the combination with Fetch will allow us to do roughly the same process. So here we'll show a mobile robot by connecting directly to the MES or WMS, moving around within the different workstations, which eliminates wait times and increases accuracy. So here it's going to build up that kit or that cart, drive it over to another workstation where another worker puts on something into the kit here, and then it can drive on to other workstations as well. So the benefit of this, and what we've seen in some of the more some manufacturing environments and kitting environments, the workflow can be complex between the different workstations. If you have to route it to another workstation, it could go A, B, C, and then rerouting to C, A, B if needed. You have that flexibility with the mobile robots. Also, typically what we see, especially in the manufacturing space, the way that these cells are laid out, they're very close together. And that makes it challenging to put traditional automation in there through conveyors. So the mobile robots really give you that flexibility to build into the system and reroute them and work in these closure spaces where conveyor traditionally would not fit. So it allows you to bring automation to this that you weren't able to do before. That is going to eliminate the wait times and overall increase your accuracy. So with that, we're near the end here. The overall conclusion, AMRs deliver significant benefits by automating cart movement and increasing your returns, increasing your processing and returns, and kitting. Overall, they'll increase reliability, improve flexibility, and that is scalability, being able to add robots, and overall maximize your productivity. So with that, I will turn it over to the Q&A section. Look forward to hearing your questions. Tracy, do we have any questions from the audience?
We sure do. So first, just let me say thanks to you and Sonia for an informative presentation. And as you mentioned, we will move on to the Q&A portion of our event. As a reminder to our attendees, you may still ask an online question in the Q&A feature along the bottom of your screen. And we do have quite a few that have come in, so I'll go ahead and start with those. Let's see, question number 1, how much time does it take to deploy AMRs?
So let me take that. It can be set up in a matter of hours in some instances. It really depends on the facility. But with Fetch and their mapping capabilities and the setup capabilities, we're able to get these up and running and do the mapping within hours and then running in the facility within a day or two, depending on the application.
Okay, let's see. Next question. Can we use our existing carts with these robots?
I can answer that. So the robot requires a specific base to be able to locate and lift the cart. So new carts would need to be purchased along with the solution.
Okay.
Yeah, and we found that these carts are very easy to purchase. There's working with Fetch, we have a partner that makes these carts, and they're easy to roll out. And we've also worked with some vendors to customize these carts to specific needs for customers.
Oh, thanks. That was good additional information. Let's see. Next question is, we have a lot of people in forklifts moving around in our facility. How do we ensure that the mobile robots interact with them safely?
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. Good question. So that is one of the benefits that we see working with Fetch and their obstacle avoidance and the safety systems that they have. I showed a video earlier where you saw another mobile robot going down the path and the other mobile robot that was carrying the cart that stopped, and then a person walking by and the mobile robot detecting that person and stopping as well. Fetch uses a lot of the similar technologies that we see in automated vehicles right now. So the driverless cars and whatnot. And it enables them to detect these objects and slow down and stop the systems and then start back up. Also allows them to avoid forklift tines, which can be dangerous for operating robots.
Okay. Let's see. Next question is there a way to calculate the ideal number of robots for a particular job?
Yeah, so what we recommend here is reaching out to us. We have a team of sales consultants that works on these tasks in partnership with Fetch. We also work through, in some cases, a simulation to see what is the best number of bots to be put into that configuration. I shared some of the simulation videos that we talked about before when we looked at reverse logistics and kitting. We would look forward to consulting with you and figuring out what's the best fit.
All right. Let's see. Can the AMRs be used outdoors?
So the AMRs are designed to be used indoors in a dry environment. So you wouldn't be able to use them outdoors.
All right. Oh, sorry, Eric.
Yeah. So, and the beauty, which we pointed out earlier in the presentation, is that for a lot of the reverse logistics movements that we see will be cart based. And a lot of times you're already putting products on carts. So the Fetch mobile robots are able to work in any environment where you can push around a cart. So that's a very good fit for what we see out in this space.
All right, I will move on to the next question then. Let's see. How difficult is it to add more robots on an as-needed basis?
So we see it being very easy. You can roll them in and scale them up based on seasonality. We offer a robot as a service, which provides flexibility to adding in more robots and allows you to pay for the robot on a subscription basis. And so that is the flexibility that you have with mobile robots. We also offer 2 ways to purchase these robots. So it's a CapEx plus recurring fee, which we have for our software layers that we're adding in and the benefits that those drive. And you also be getting improvements for those software upgrades. And then there's the RAS model where that's all bundled into that subscription price that we talked about.
Okay.
And actually, Tracy, let me expand a little bit on that.
Sure.
One of the things that we see where you might need to expand and add more robots is seasonal peak. And also, mobile robots give you that flexibility to expand your operations. And I don't know if we'll talk about it on this call, but on the last call, we talked about the flexibility that you have in mobile robots for doing different configurations in your warehouse. So unlike traditional fixed infrastructure such as conveyors that are bolted into the ground, you're enabled to move your structure around, and the mobile robots will adjust with the mapping as you expand your facility and roll out accordingly.
Okay. Next question is, can we customize the robots to use different equipment?
Yes, typically we work with the customer to develop the solution to best tailor to their needs and determine that right equipment or what those accessories would look like.
Okay, and I do have another question here. How quickly can the robots adapt to new workflows?
So the robots adapt very quickly. They go exactly where you tell them to go. The challenge here, the question is more around how quickly can you reprogram the robots for new workflows? And with FetchCore and our software, we find that very easy. FetchCore offers a simple way to set up basic workflows. And for the more complex workflows, we're working into our Momentum software to configure those workflows.
All right, I was just looking to see if we had any more questions, and I don't see that any more questions have come in. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the Q&A portion here. Anything else to add, Eric? If not, I'll close.
No, thank you very much. We're excited about this opportunity. As Sonia pointed out, reverse logistics is growing. Returns are on the increase, especially with the e-commerce boom that we're seeing right now. Also, we're heading into peak season here with Thanksgiving around the corner here in the USA. And we expect to see more returns increase. And as Sonia pointed out, returns from e-commerce are upwards of 10 to 30%, whereas you look at brick and mortar stores, they're much lower, underneath 10%. So we think this is an excellent opportunity. There's a lot of returns that are going on. This is a great way to automate the returns process and give yourself some flexibility in scaling up and helping to increase your overall productivity. So thank you, Tracy and Sonia. Look forward to hearing from everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again to our presenters and to all of our attendees for their participation. And as a reminder, within approximately 48 hours after this live event, you can access this presentation on demand at intelligrated.com/on-the-move. And you'll also receive an email with a link to the presentation, as well as links to our AMR use case videos. So on behalf of Honeywell Intelligrated, thank you for attending today's On the Move webinar. We hope you can join us for the 2 remaining webinars in our robotics series. 4 Ways Smart Robotics are streamlining the DC, and those are the week of November 30th. Registration information is available on our website at intelligrated.com/on-the-move. So thanks again for joining us, and have a great afternoon.